I go. Okay, let's do this. Erev Tov. Good evening. Thanks for being here. Hope you're not getting wet. We tested this earlier and I didn't get wet. So let's see what happens. I think I could say that even though I said it last night. And we'll have another one tomorrow night and one more on Sunday. Because that's the way we do events these days. But it is really, really an honor to, and I want to say thank you. Thank you for coming out here tonight. There's a lot going on in the world. It's not a beautiful night. But we're very, very proud to be here. It's a meaningful day and a meaningful week. I know that there are people here who are getting a window into what their children are experiencing. I know there are people here who remember the old building that you'll hear about a little bit, and we'll talk about a little bit. And people who are here for meaningful dedications and to try to connect the dots. Yesterday, with our students in the middle school in particular, we commemorated Monday and Tuesday Kristallnacht, the 9th of November, the 10th of November. And as part of that commemoration, we heard from somebody who many of you know, Mr. Ludwig Bravman, and actually had the opportunity to dedicate the Beit Midrash upstairs to him and to his wife, Vladi Zichronah Livracha. I spoke to him the night before, and he told me that he remembers that night. He was 13 years old. He was bar mitzvah in April, and this was November. He remembers that night like it was yesterday. And we tried to teach our students not only about the destruction, but of course about the strength and resilience of the people that had the courage to build and to live. On that night, they tried to destroy us by destroying our buildings first. Because symbols and buildings matter. They don't matter the most. They're not, and they can't become too important. And we never make the mistake of making the buildings more central than the people that reside within them. But they matter. They enhance what we do. They allow children to be, they allow children to learn. They allow children to express their creativity. And I was thinking last night, on a day that we spoke about so much broken glass, how much glass was put in here to allow light to shine through and light to shine out. For 250, now 350 roughly, kids every day. Timing is good. We probably wouldn't have been able to open up school this year without the extra space, 36,000 extra square feet. We moved 100 or 90 first graders from there to here. The ELC was welcomed in there for 2 years, so now we're getting it back. But that allowed us the space to have 13, 14 kids in a class and to be safe, thank God, and to count, I believe, what tomorrow will be day 42 of an interesting school year. This week's Parsha, Eliezer Aved Eved Avraham is charged with finding a shidduch, finding a match for Yitzchak, and the one thing he says is, when I guess he's not so sure that he's going to be successful, he says, Ulai lo toveh ha'isha lalechet acharai. And Rashi says Ulai is written without a vav, and he's hinting Elai, maybe she'll come to me. But I think that what Rashi's teaching us is not only noticing the missing vav, but it's something about that word Ulai, which can be so powerful and also so dangerous. When you say Ulai and you inject doubt into your ability to get something done, when you say Ulai and you inject doubt in yourself or in the people around you, then actually you have less of a chance to succeed. So the ulai needs to be ulai yesh. Ulai yesh chamishim tzadikim b'tov chayir. Not maybe not, but maybe yes. Not it's impossible, not it's unrealistic, not it's too expensive, not we're not going to get the permits. But ulai yesh, maybe we'll figure it out. And that's been the attitude of this institution. I was blessed to be a student here for 3 years and in a different role for the last 15. And I'm very grateful to be standing here tonight and to have been able to show you a building you should come back when there are kids. It's a lot more fun when there are kids here. But to be able to show you the experience, a little bit of the experience that they have. So we're standing in the rain with the pandemic numbers rising, with anxiety about real things. And that anxiety is real, and it could certainly lead us to say ulai, ulai. But hopefully the ulai will be ulai yesh. We're going to come back tomorrow. We're going to come to this building. We're going to grace this building every day. Amazing, amazing teachers, students, families who are part of this partnership and celebrating tonight. It is rare to have a director of an ELC who also is kind of an architect and kind of an interior designer and definitely a visionary educator and definitely somebody who knows how to get things done. And for the last 2 years, Alana Rifkin-Gelnick has done that, really with her day job running the ELC wherever it was in the last 2 years in that building, and at the same time being involved in every aspect of this very special project. Alana, thank you.
No, I have one. So the good thing about doing this a few times is last night we had no wipes, but tonight we do. Hi, everyone. At the beginning of this amazing journey, as our time in the carriage house was coming to a close, immediately sought after by teachers and students of all age groups. Your added brightness and zest for color are equally beautiful and inviting. You are leading by example and exceeding our expectations. With you, we could always expect warmth and flexibility, which is why it feels crazy to say that you have elevated yourself in this area, but it's true. With your welcoming disposition, you not only created a space for 250 ELC students, but you also welcomed 85 guests from the first grade. And you did this without moving a wall or adjusting a pipe. Such a role model of Hachnasat Orchim and genuine selflessness. You put on hold the hopes of a sensory gym and indoor play space, and instead prioritize the need to provide a warm home for students in need. You know and trust that your wonderful dreams for these amazing spaces will soon be realized, and you are content and patient during this complicated time. Though you may be a new construction, you exhibit the maturity of a centuries-old castle, placing the larger needs of the community in front of our own, exuding all that we teach and establishing the standard for all to follow. You exude confidence without arrogance. Just a short time ago, your footprint held a 12,000 square foot building, and now you have sprouted to triple that. And yet, no matter how large you grow, you never lose sight of your essence, the foundation of openness on which you were built. The glass that spans your exterior and envelops each classroom maintains that defining characteristic and furthers your mission. It was an area you committed to improving, and improve you did. Even through this pandemic, you enabled us to stay safe and open. Your outdoor spaces encourage exploration of the world and help us keep children outdoors as much as possible. You create opportunities for climbing, running, and jumping, and never settle for anything less. For any other structure, it would be exhausting to have children running around your walls and through your halls all day and every day. But not for you. You revel in it, feed off of it, and thrive in it. From the constant hum of children laughing, singing, and talking, no matter whether in English or Hebrew, you are electrified. You are deliberate and methodical. Every detail, no matter how big or small, is important to you. You cared enough to coordinate your carpet tiles with the color of each respective floor. You decided to begin counting your floors from 0 because it was important for you to teach an appreciation for the value of 0. As you climb up from floor 0, the wide open staircase, you hear the delightful clamor of children counting stairs and naming colors: green, yellow, red, purple, and blue. By the time they reach the roof, no time has been wasted thanks to you, fully immersed in conversations about numbers, colors, their likes, their dislikes, and the world as they perceive it. And of course, we cannot forget your classrooms. Inviting just scratches the surface, and each room is unique and simultaneously open-ended in thought and in practice. The children control the experience as the teachers guide incredible transformations. Your furniture is a transforming cog in this imagination machine. A loft one day, a hospital the next, an apple orchard the following week, and a voting station later on. When your building is an open-ended wonderland, the sky is no longer the limit. What has not changed is the core of who you are. You have always created a space and to continue to create a space for all to find their opportunity to shine. Not only did you provide the furniture with a blank canvas to push boundaries, but also, and perhaps more importantly, you provided the teachers with an enhanced platform to continue their amazing work with children. You know how lucky you are to have these exceptional educators in your midst, and the amazing relationship between you and them has quickly rekindled. I can't wait to see what you come up with next. As we look back on the time that has passed since you were just a 12,000 square foot carriage house and we take stock of the project that brought us to this point, I can't help but marvel at the accomplishment that you are and the success that you represent. So many people were instrumental to you during your formative months as we carried the idea of you into our reality. Rabbi Krause was committed to making you spectacular. He pushed the project forward and never allowed for complacency nor nostalgia to inhibit the realization of that goal. With Nathan Kahn at the helm, you knew everything would come together effectively and efficiently. Nathan is a lot like you, deeply passionate about our community, relentlessly committed to its growth and success, and an inspiration to all who have the privilege to work with him. And of course, you would not be standing here beneath us today if not for Nick and his exceptional handiwork. He literally built you with his own 2 hands, as we have come to expect, but never take for granted. Well, sometimes take for granted, but we're not going to. Nick did an unbelievable job. What you know better than anyone or anything is that for us at SAR, children are at the center of everything. They matter most, and they're at the center of our universe. The work that we do within your glass walls is life-altering and has the power to shape the world. Stay bright, stay warm, and stay open. Our promise to you is that we'll never stop growing and we'll never stop creating. Thank you for being a perpetual reminder that anything is possible.
Stay open and stay open. To the committee leaders who are here tonight, Rabbi Shmuel Hain, thank you very much for being here. Your leadership in the community and your connection to SAR is something that means a lot to me personally and to all of us. Rev. Stephen Exler, thank you very much. You've always been here, and you're a parent now in the ELC, and you're just a pleasure to talk to bring challenges to, and thank you. Thank you for your friendship and for your leadership. To Rosh Kehillah Dina Nyman, who on the side runs our Gemara department and does so much for this community. Thank you very, very much. In August of 2018, I received the following letter. Dear Rabbi Krause, as you may know, the Mashalu Jewish Center was led for many years by Rabbi Herschel Schachter. It was Rabbi Schachter's wish that a donation be made to SAR Academy from the proceeds of the liquidation of the Mashalu Jewish Center. The Mashalu Jewish Center has not been liquidated, it is instead being revitalized to continue to serve its mission of providing graves at a low cost for the Orthodox burial of Jewish individuals, including those of limited means. The revitalization of the Marshall Jewish Center Cemetery program and its mission have resulted in certain funds being available in order to fulfill Rabbi Schachter's wishes. Enclosed, please find a donation to your organization to fulfill those wishes. I have a Moshe Drelach, involved with the Marshall Jewish Center, who brought that to us. Thank you for being here tonight. And there was something very powerful about getting that unsolicited letter and unsolicited donation, because when you build something new, there's always something bittersweet about losing what you had. We're very, very proud of this building, but there was something special about the other one, even the parts that didn't work. And we have to be careful living in a world where there's always updates and new versions, to remember that what came before us is really what shaped us, to remember that we stand on the shoulders of giants, and to remember that Riverdale is the Bronx. So that was really powerful to me, not only because we needed the funds to build this building, but it was powerful to me because that allowed for a certain level of beautiful continuity to be part of this project. Rabbi Herschel Schachter became the rabbi of the Marshall Jewish Center in 1946 and spent the next 6 decades building Jewish life in the Bronx and defending Jewish rights around the world. In the 1950s and 1960s, he led the efforts to defend Orthodox Judaism in the Bronx against the pressures of assimilation, while fighting for Jews on other fronts as well, as leader of the Bronx Council for Soviet Jewry. Soon, Rabbi Schachter entered the national arena. He served as president of the Religious Zionists of America, the American Jewish Conference for Soviet Jews, and was the first Orthodox rabbi to become chairman of the Conference of Presidents of major American Jewish organizations. In all his endeavors, he was guided by the memories of what he experienced as a young U.S. Army chaplain who was part of the force that liberated the infamous Nazi concentration camp of Buchenwald. I did not realize this when we planned it, but I believe it both beautiful and fitting that we are marking this specific dedication this week and this day, the day after Kristallnacht and still on Veterans Day, to remember a rabbi and a veteran who volunteered to spend more than 2 months in Buchenwald, helping the survivors rebuild their shattered lives and souls, an act of chesed that exemplifies the values of dedication and sacrifice that Veterans Day represents. So tonight is not just a celebration of the new, but it's an affirmation of the continuity of this institution, of this community, of this borough, of this place. Miriam and Benji, you have been parts of this community. For 15 years, you've been my neighbors. For much longer than that, you've been part of this community. Chana graduated the academy. Abe was the first graduating class of the high school. 30 plus years of being connected to this community and to SAR, along with all the other meaningful and important things that you do on the side or in the center. Rabbi JJ and Yocheved Schachter, thank you very, very much for being here. Those values, those lessons, those things that we hope to incorporate into this building from your father, things that you continue to share with all of the people around you. I don't know if I didn't know about this until Monday when I looked on our screen and I saw that your mother's yard site was this week. It was a day of learning sponsored here in her memory. So there's a lot of continuity here, and there's a lot of meaning here tonight, and maybe it even stopped raining. Thank you. Thank you very, very much, Miriam.
Hi. Do this. I'm far enough away. I could do this because I need that.
I want to call
Okay.
Grandma right now and tell her it's starting. Call Grandma and tell her I sent her a new link and it's starting. Miriam is starting.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us in person and on the screen. And thank you, Rabbi Krauss, for this evening. And thank you for your thoughtful introduction. My father became the rabbi, as you heard, in the Bronx almost 75 years ago. He was the rabbi of the Mashal Jewish Center for almost 60 years. Those are numbers. My brother, Rabbi J.J. Schachter, thank you. Thank you for joining us, J.J. and Yocheved. J.J. and I were raised in what is now called Norwood, which is the northeast corner of the Bronx. In fact, all our family are Bronx. We're all Bronx kids. Yocheved, my sister-in-law and my dearest friend, thank you for being here, is a product of the Bronx. And of course, Benji, my Benji. We are a Bronx family through and through. When the Mashal Jewish Center closed in 1999, and its assets were going to be dispersed, and as you see, the letter came in 2018, so things don't move very quickly in the world of philanthropy. Our father requested that a portion of the proceeds of the sale of the building be donated to SAR. David Cook and Steve Licht, two lawyers and active members of the Mashal Jewish Center, were instrumental in seeing that this disbursement went smoothly. David Cook, who was scheduled to join us on Zoom, and I hope he's there, was a loyal and devoted and dear, dear, dear friend of our parents, a wonderful lawyer and an excellent congregant. And Steve Licht, who passed away a little more than a year ago, and we miss him, is represented here tonight by James Licht and Rosh Kehillah Dina Nyman, and Doctors Lisa and Danny Hirsch were going to be here, but maybe they couldn't make it. Each of them, they are here? They're on Zoom. Oh, they're on Zoom. Hi. Hi, guys. Each of them prominent members of our Riverdale community. Both David and Steve worked tirelessly to ensure that everything that needed to be done would be done and done well. Our father regularly spoke with deep gratitude to both David and Steve for all that they accomplished for the Mashal Jewish Center. Our father, along with our mother, Panina Gewurt Schachter, wanted to ensure that their beloved borough of the Bronx had a vibrant Jewish future. SAR was the local Bronx day school, and their grandchildren went to this yeshiva, went to SAR. When our children, Han and Avery, were young, Monday nights was Bubby and Zaidi night. Zaidi would drive up to the ELC. The parking lot was bigger than it is now, but he would get online with Bubby in the car, wait for Abby to come out, or Ilsa would have to pass by and wave, and Hannah would come bounding down from the big building, and she would join Abby and Bubby and Zaidi, and off they'd go. Bubby and Zaidi took good care of Hannah and Abby, and Monday nights was their special alone time with their Bubby and Zaidi. And as our kids grew older, and our parents came to the big building, Chumash plays, Sidur plays, or any other event where grandparents were invited, my father would say to me, Miriam, look at this building. Oh my God, what a piece of architecture. He'd say, is this a yeshiva? Are you sure this is a yeshiva? I've never been in a building like this at all, let alone a yeshiva. Both our parents and our children's grandparents deeply appreciated SAR for its vision and its values. A few days after our father died, his obituary appeared on the front page of the New York Times, highlighting his service, as Rabbi Krauss mentioned, as a chaplain in the American Army in 1945, and his activities in Buchenwald upon its liberation by the American Army. How did a newly ordained rabbi serving in a pulpit in Stamford, Connecticut, make the decision that he was going to enlist in the United States Armed Forces? As a young adult, I wondered what was in the mind and heart of my 25-year-old, not yet father, as he enlisted in the Army in 1942. What was he thinking and feeling? Dr. Rafi Medoff, while engaging in researching a forthcoming biography about our father, which is going to print soon, so everybody stay tuned, found a passionate letter by my father to his father, written in Hebrew in October 1942. This letter answered many of my questions. The letter, clearly and articulately written, filled with biblical and Talmudic references, gave me and all of us who read this letter a deep understanding into the mindset of our father as he embarked upon his chaplaincy in the fall of 1942. We learned firsthand that our father was a passionate patriot. His letter is filled with his love and gratitude to the United States of America for welcoming and sheltering his family. And I quote from the letter, "Ha'im ein anu chayavim b'tor Yehudim ne'emanim limsor et nafshenu ba'ad artzenu zo habrucha v'hamivorechet." Are we not, as faithful Jews, obligated to dedicate our lives on behalf of this truly blessed country? Hitchashev na avi hayakar, eifo hayita ata, lulo patcha America et daltoteha ush'areha harachmaniyot, l'chol hanirdafim v'hane'elavim shebechol katzvei tevel. Please ponder, my father, where would you yourself be if America did not open her compassionate doors and gates to those who knocked, to all persecuted and debased in all the ends of the earth? He felt tremendous gratitude to the United States for welcoming his immigrant parents and family. Simultaneously, he felt a strong obligation to protect Jews wherever they may be. He knew of the plight of European Jews, and he felt obligated to represent America, to fight on her behalf and respond to the cry of suffering Jews. I quote, and I'll do it straight into the English, "At the very hour when the future of the people is suspended between life and death, when millions stand at the threshold of death and destruction, God forbid, how can we stand with folded hands and not lend our ears and not listen to the voice of the blood of our brothers who are crying out to us from the earth of wickedness? I hear my father's voice." I hope I am projecting as well as he did. Our father was a man of action. He modeled himself after Abraham, who, when the angel of God called out, "Avraham, Avraham," Abraham responded, "Hineni, here I am." Our father stepped up. Our father took action. I am in awe of my father's devotion to the Jewish people. I am deeply moved by his sense of purpose and his clear vision. His activities in Buchenwald, for which he was remembered in the New York Times, was a once-in-a-lifetime event. He was a messenger of God. He did help save hundreds and hundreds of people, which through the generations turned into hundreds of thousands of people. What our father saw there and what he did afterward on behalf of the survivors served as the foundation upon which he built his career as a Jewish activist throughout his life. And he brought this same sense of devotion to his activities on behalf of his congregants in the Mashalu Jewish Center. While using his ample energy to serve Jews around the world, while he was actively involved in and became the president of many Jewish organizations, he remained loyal and attentive to his congregants. When JJ and I were growing up, every Friday night after our Shabbat meal, our parents invited young people from the community to come and sit at our Shabbat table, to participate and partake in our father's Torah, and to absorb our mother's warmth and her baked goods. Our father focused on the individual, a value which is at the core of the educational philosophy of SAR. He and our mother fostered and maintained individual relationships with their congregants, especially the ones that were the younger ones, for decades and decades after these men and women left the Mashalu Jewish Center. Many, many young men and women became observant, close to Torah and mitzvot, due to their relationship with both our parents. Our father's values and SAR's values are a perfect match. A deep connection to Torah and mitzvot, a deep connection to the Hebrew language and the state of Israel, a deep connection and gratitude to our home country, the United States of America, and a devotion to individuals and their spiritual and emotional needs. It is no surprise that one of our father's last public acts was to request that SAR be a financial beneficiary of part of the sale of the Mashalu Jewish Center. He was a huge fan of the SAR Academy. He very much approved of the education his grandchildren received. Here, in these buildings. When the shul closed, end of 90s, 1999, 1998, our parents moved to Riverdale. Our parents had not lived in a vibrant, observant Jewish community since they left Brooklyn in the late 40s. They loved being a part of the Riverdale community, loved that so many of their congregants moved here to Riverdale, the Lefts, my mother's awesome buddies. And they were surrounded by friends, old and new. My father believed in and invested in the Jewish future of the Bronx, and he would have been blown away by the growth and excellence of SAR Academy and SAR High School. Thank you, Rabbi Krause. Thank you to the Development Department of SAR for honoring the Mashalu Jewish Center and honoring our father's contribution and memory today on Veterans Day. Thank you.
Uh-oh, you just my papers. You're holding it.
Oh, I'm holding your papers too.
That's all good. Thank you, Miriam, again, for being here for this beautiful, beautiful night. I want to acknowledge some important people here who spend a lot of time here. To Shira Kroll, thank you very much. You run that place, you even let me in when I buzzed. Thank you very much. But everything else, you take care of everything. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you. Pearl McKenzie. That's her sister. That's her sisters, okay. Pearl, thank you for being involved in this project and everything that you do every day for SAR. To Danielle Lipschitz, thank you very much for being here. I asked you if you got a tour. You get a tour every day, and you take care of us every day. And thank you to Michelle Halpert. There she is. Come back tomorrow. Thank you, thank you. I see Avi Bloom is here. Avi Bloom has done a lot of heavy lifting for this organization, making Zoom work. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate that. Kenny Birnbaum is here. Thank you very much for all that you do and everybody. Thanks a lot. Heidi and Sarah. Nancy Laria. Is that Nancy? Yes. Nancy Laria. Hi, Nancy. I'm sorry I didn't see you. Welcome. Thanks for coming. Did you get a tour? You were here the whole time. Okay, great. Sarah Hassan. Thank you very much. I tend to plan late, so we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and here we are, and we'll be here again tomorrow and Sunday, and thank you very, very much. And Heidi Greenbaum, who has been our Director of Development for almost as long as I have been here, and is working from home still for doing lots and lots of things and making it all happen. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Rabbi Schachter, if I can ask you to, I know it's a surprise, it's just deeper. To just read the Mizmor Shir Chanukat Habayit LeDavid, say a tefillah for this building and for this occasion, if I could find it. We're good. Yeah, I think we're okay.
Mizmor Shir Chanukat Habayit LeDavid Aro Mimcha Adonai Kidi Litani V'lo Simachtai Vayli Adonai Elohai Shivate Elecha Vatirpaeni Adonai Ha'alita Min Sha'ol Nafshi Chiyitani Miyar Divor Zemru L'Adonai Chasidav V'hodu L'Zecher Kadsho Ki Rega Be'apo Chaim B'rtzono Be'erev Yolen Bechi V'laboker Rina V'ani Amarti B'shalvi Ba'lemot Le'olam Adonai B'rtzoncha Ha'emadata L'hariyos V'starta Fanecha Hayiti Nivhal Elecha Adonai Akra Ve'ela Adonai Etchanan Ma Betza B'dami B'riditi El Shachat Hayodcha Afar Hayagid Amitecha Shema Adonai V'chaneni Adonai Hayeh Ozer Li Hafachta Misvedi L'mocholi Pitachta Saki V'ta'azreni Simcha L'man Yizamercha Chavod V'lo Yidom Adonai Elohai La'olam Odeka.
Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to close the Lotei Shmiya Gdola Miriyah. So we wanted you to see a little bit. We're going to conclude with a brief video, a little bit of a window into what happens when we have children in the building. We certainly look forward to welcoming you back when we can. Please bring, if you didn't have dinner now, please bring it with you and enjoy it. And stay safe and have a wonderful evening. Thank you. We're getting there. Hold on.
Good morning! We're so excited to see you!
This wasn't an SAR presentation.